season. Coach will start us off with a quick opening statement, and please raise your hands for questions, and we do have microphones here, so let's please use them. Thank you. Coach, take it away.
All right, yeah, first of all, very excited to finally open up the season. It's been, I feel like a long time since first getting here back in December and putting together a staff and then, putting together this team. The guys have worked extremely hard this summer, getting ready and in camp and now to finally play. We're tired of hitting each other, I can tell you that. We want to hit somebody else. And, and we're excited about, I'm excited about, playing in Nippert, and know we got another sellout again that we just announced, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, one of the best atmospheres in the country, and so really excited about that. But I think playing EKU, a team that have played a lot over the years. Played them when I was at App State. We played them twice when I was at Louisville. They got a lot of pride, a lot of in their play, and then they're coming off a really outstanding year last year. I think Coach Wells has done an outstanding job, since taking over that program and really kind of, infused some really good life into that program. And I think, some of the players they've brought in have made plays. I mean, starting with the quarterback, I think he's done some great things and had a record-setting year last year, close to 4,000 yards passing. And so he's back. Their running back is a guy we had in camp at Louisville. I really liked him coming out of high school, and he's good kick returner and a good running back, and a couple of really notable offensive linemen that are getting a lot of accolades as well preseason. We know we're going to get a great shot out of EKU coming in here, but we're just excited about our opportunity to play and open this season up.
Keith and Chad.
Scott, the NFL has preseason, high school even, you can get some full contact scrimmages in before that first game. There's none of that in college. What are some pros and cons to that, especially as you're building this new program?
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me this week about that same question. I think I kind of like the way we do it preseason in college football. I mean, I think you got an opportunity, really basically a couple of weeks in camp to find out your team, what it's made of in practice. We also do a couple of scrimmages, within each other. So you're kind of, basically going against each other and trying to find out what guys can do. And then, you take that last week and, kind of that transition between camp and your first game and now obviously game week. I kind of like that. I think if you're playing some preseason games, a lot of times there may be a few players you're trying to find some stuff out about, but you pretty much know kind of your starters, and you look at the NFL, a lot of those guys don't play. You have no idea what kind of team some of these teams are going to have in the NFL until they start playing games. So one thing that I wouldn't mind seeing is a game in the spring. I think the spring is a good time to maybe play a team, a regional team. Let's get together and have that spring game and make that 15th practice a game, and sell tickets, make it a game, and I think that could really generate a lot of, promise for these teams and all the teams really, and being able to play each other in the springtime. I think that's probably a better time, in my opinion, to do that.
How much do you think it helps getting a team that's able to pass the ball around the way that Eastern Kentucky does to test this defense right out of the gate? Well,
yeah, I mean, we're certainly, facing a team that's one of the better passing teams at FCS level last year. A quarterback that I think, has a great opportunity at the next level. I could absolutely see him on a team in the NFL next year. He's a guy, he's got good size, great confidence, can throw, has a really good velocity on his ball, but he also can throw the deep ball. He doesn't get rattled. I think it's certainly going to be a test for our defense. I mean, to find out what we're made of, because if you give this quarterback time, he can pick you apart. And so we got to be able to create some pressures there, and get him off his spot in that pocket and make him move his feet a little bit. And they do a great job of getting rid of the football. Not many guys got to him last year, and they do a good job of, not holding the ball and, letting those receivers get loose and him finding them. So, it'd be a great test for particularly our D-line to see if they can get some rush. Then also, let's see what our DBs are made of. We've got some guys back there that are new, that are going to be playing, and so, interested to see what those guys can do. So it'll be a great test.
Playing a non-Power 5 team to start the season, how much do you at all use the App State Michigan example to make sure your players are ready to go?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, there's been too many examples out there of teams beating teams that maybe shouldn't have. You got to bring it every week. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I don't care. I mean, you got to bring it every week. We've talked about that. I mean, but we talk about it every day. I mean, like we don't want to take a day off. These last 3 weeks we've been practicing. We can't take a day off. You have to bring it every day. Particularly you create that competition. So our guys get in a habit of bringing it every day because somebody's going to take my spot if I don't bring it today. So when you practice that way, you create that habit, and hopefully in the games you're doing it every single rep, every single play. And I certainly you can never overlook anybody. You got to bring it all the time. I mean, EKU is going to come in here and certainly they're playing a level up, and they're going to try. This is a Super Bowl, come in here and play as best they can. And a lot of their players, I know how they felt, back at App State or whatever. Maybe wasn't recruited by Cincinnati, and I want to go prove to them, I could have played at that level. You guys overlooked me, and so they're certainly going to play with a chip on their shoulder. We understand that, but I think more than anything, our guys, no matter who we're playing, you have to bring it, and you have to prepare that way every single day in practice. And on Sunday we had a really good practice, and certainly this afternoon our guys are going to have to bring it.
You've spoken on a couple occasions about the 2s and the 3s being ready, or will they be ready? You think your 1s will be ready? Where's your confidence level right now in the 2s and the 3s?
Well, it's still, not all the way where it needs to be, I don't think. I think, I feel good about our 1s. I mean, it's going to be, we're going to have some 2s and some 3s to rise up and to go out and make plays and be more consistent. I think that's probably the big thing. They can do it, but you got to show it every single play and every single time you're on the field. I feel like certain positions we're better than others as far as depth goes. But those guys are going to have to be able to make plays. And, this certainly, this first game, you're going to have to rotate guys. You're going to have to play guys. And the ones when you're in your 2 or 3 and you're getting your chance and your opportunity, they may make the most of it. We know as we get throughout this season, we're going to have to play more and more of those guys. You start getting guys dinged up, and, it's a long season, so you're going to have to play a lot of players.
Scott?
There were times where you had to hold out Corleone and Briggs and Phillips during practice on purpose. You don't want them damaging your quarterback. I mean, there's got to be great interest on your part and fans' part just to see what these guys can do. A lot of hype around them and spotlights on.
Yeah, I don't have much question what they can do and what they will do. I think they're going to be hard to block. I think Briggs is playing the best ball of his career right now. Certainly hadn't played a game this year, but I think he will go out and make plays. Those guys will impact games. Now the thing about sometimes at the defensive line position, they may not show up as much in the stat sheet, but they will impact games because they're gonna demand some double teams. And when that happens, it's going to free up our linebackers to be able to scrape and make more plays. So it'll be interesting. That, to me, will be the interesting thing is to see how they show up in the stat sheet, or is it when we go turn the tape on and those guys have demanded double teams across the board, our linebackers are free to go make a lot of tackles. I mean, so I think they will certainly impact the game. I do believe they will be able to, cause some havoc in the backfield, whether it be in the run game or pass game. But I also think that we got a lot of depth there, so we can rotate guys and keep those guys fresh. And when you are out there playing and you're 100% out there, we're getting you out, and the next guy's in, and he's going to go make plays. That's the one position I feel maybe better than any other position is at the defensive line with enough depth and talent there to really to go 3 deep at some of those positions. And I think that certainly will bode well for us throughout the season.
Chad, then Keegan.
You've coached a lot of big games and a lot of full stadiums. What's your excitement level to finally find out what a packed, loud Nippert is like?
I'm as excited as I've ever been, for a first game, and to come out and coach in this environment and in this stadium, man, it's going to be awesome. I love everything about it. I love the size. It's not a 100,000 seat stadium, but it's right on top of you. You're going to feel like the opponent hopefully will feel smothered and make it more difficult for him to do things and move the ball offensively. I know our players will feed off of the excitement and the atmosphere, and it's inspirational to those guys, and they'll continue to bring it every play. And more than anything, you don't want to let the people down that have paid money to come see you play. I mean, let's give them a good show and not let those guys down and give them something to cheer about. And so they'll come back again. And I think, every time you don't ever take it for granted. So you have to bring that. That's why you bring it every play and every game, and to make it exciting for the fans that are coming to watch us play.
Keegan, then Justin.
Does that kind of mean something to you personally, that they're willing to kind of devote their time and money to you specifically and still keep that excitement in Cincinnati football despite being your first year here?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's more not about me. I think it's about the Bearcat program and, and the Bearcat, faithful that have come year after year to come support this team. And I think, I'm very fortunate and blessed to be the head coach here. And now I get to experience it, stand on the sideline and get the best seat in the house. And, the excitement around Big 12, new conference that we're going into, I think, so there's a lot of reasons for fans to be excited. And we got a lot of new opponents this year. And, so yeah, I mean, I look and see, hey, man, we've sold, X amount of tickets and we're selling the stadium out. It's awesome, but at the same time, as a head coach, I want to make sure we're putting a great product on the field that's going to be very competitive and that's going to make some plays that the people are going to be excited about, and cheer loud and go back and tell their man, you got to come to a game. It's unbelievable, So that's what we have to do as coaches and players and keep them excited about coming back.
Emory struggled a little bit in spring. Aside from just obviously having more time in the summer, what did he do specifically this fall that you felt like allowed him to get comfortable and kind of up his game?
Well, we added a lot more receivers in the receiver room. I think that was big to actually have some players, more players to throw to out there. And I also think just, he worked hard over the summers, our whole team did. And, in the summertime now, we're able to work a little bit more with our athletes and continue the development of offense and defense that we did in the spring. So it's just, I think, more of a comfort level for another couple of months. Bringing in some new guys, getting comfortable throwing the ball to those guys. And then as we started camp, we started seeing, a lot better play. I think we were able to hit some plays on our defense that, we couldn't hit in the spring. And, I think it was night and day difference, really, from the spring to this fall camp. So, and I think Emory's gotten better and better. And the last couple practices and Sunday, I mean, he was really good, and I think we got to have a great practice today and obviously the rest of this week, because now you're narrowing your game plan. In camp, by the end of camp, you got everything in. And so now you're narrowing it down. Okay, here's the plays we're going to run against EKU. We're going to focus on these. Let's get really good at these plays this week. And that's why I thought Sunday was really good, because of the wide receivers, tight ends, backs, and Emory. Everybody was kind of more dialed in. Here's our game plan. Let's kind of go here. And even today, now we're a lot more focused on that as well. So I think we all think by game time, game week, when we get dialed in a lot better offensively, better execution and all that, because during camp against our defense, we're not game planning our defense. We're just running plays, and we got a lot of stuff in and seeing how the guys react. It's a lot better now once we get to game week.
Corey Kinder's listed as the unofficial starter.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go for $145 in this game, or Miles or Ryan or any of them, do you keep evaluating it early in the season, or if one guy takes off, is he the guy?
Yeah, we're going to continue to evaluate all year. I hope somebody goes off that way and breaks some long runs, and we are able to run the football and get some good rushing yards. We want to be able to run the football. It starts up front with our offensive line and our tight ends. And I think they can create some nice holes. I have confidence in our backs to be able to go get some good chunk yards. I mean, we have to be able to do that. And I hope it's not just one back. I hope it's a couple guys that are out there, providing some great rushing yards. If we're able to do that, then it's going to put more pressure on the defense. And now they start tightening up for the run game. It's going to open up some of these wide receivers as well. So it's just a great balance we have to have there. So again, there's a lot of new parts to the offense this year. I mean, I've read something today about our offensive lineman. You got one starter returning, Gerhardt, and everybody else is new. So not a lot of experience up front, and but I feel confident those guys will be able to create some nice holes for those backs to run through.
Keegan.
You talked about the second and third level on the depth chart. Who kind of in that range has surprised you the most as someone that you might not have been thinking that could contribute, but now is really someone that you know you can count on?
Well, I mean, I think, as you think about some of the starters that we had in the spring, a lot of those guys are still the starters, as we head into camp. The guy that's kind of stuck out this spring, or this August camp, was Antoine Peak, is a guy who's maybe was down the depth chart, and then now after this spring, he's number 2 safety. He's a guy that will get to play. I mean, he's going to get some good playing time. Some depth guys, that we brought in. I thought DJ Taylor is another guy who's listed as a backup, will be in a rotation. He'll be able to play there too. He provides a lot of speed that we saw this spring for him in the back end. I feel like at the corner position that we got some guys, with Sammy and Jordan, I think they're solid players, but I think we have some other guys behind them. I think they're going to be good. I mean, Justin Harris has played some ball for us. I think he gives us some more depth right there as well. So it'll be good to see. I think that more than anything, where we've provided ourselves with depth is at the wide receiver room. We didn't have any depth in the spring, and barely had some starters in the spring, and now you influx a lot of these guys, and now I feel very confident 7 or 8 of those guys at the wide receiver room that can go out and play at a high level.
Other questions for Coach? All right, thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys.
We'll have